Hey, what's up? Welcome back. In this episode, we're going to work on adding photos to our listing. So using Active Storage to upload some images, and we'll attach those to our listings for this short-term vacation rental platform that we're working on building out. So yeah, we're going to jump in. We'll see how it goes. And so the very first start is we want to do like Rails Active Storage :install. And this will install Active Storage and a couple other little libraries. And so that copied a migration. I've actually already got some Active Storage tables, so we'll see if this works. So Rails DB migrate. Also, like as part of the upgrade from 6 to 7, I was trying to demonstrate some stuff, and so things already existed, but other things didn't. So you should be able to just say like Active Storage :install, run your migrations, and then you should be set up and ready to go. So this thing right here, I'm actually just going to remove this, and I'm pretty sure that I've already got Active Storage set up and ready to rock. So Active Storage here is a tool that you can use for storing files, and it will handle the database, so tracking like where the data is actually stored. When you're uploading files to Rails, the data for the actual file itself is not typically stored in the database. Instead, it's usually stored on some file server like S3, GCP, Microsoft Azure, etc., etc. And so Active Storage is a tool that kind of coordinates taking the file, uploading it, storing it in one of those places based on some config, and then giving you sort of like nice Ruby methods for interacting with those files that are technically on S3 or wherever. When you're developing locally, you can use the local storage, and that will just kind of store the files onto your disk. And that local storage in that case is different from like local storage you use in JavaScript, but it'll store it on disk. The reason why you don't want to use local storage in practice generally is that a lot of times when we're deploying Rails apps, we're deploying to Heroku or Render or there's a bunch of other tools where like the file systems are ephemeral, and so anything that's not in like your Git repo is going to get blown away. And so generally it's just better practice to store on some service like Amazon S3 or similar. The way this works is you kind of like set up some config. We're just going to default to whatever is like already in storage.yaml. We can like pull that up and take a look. So config storage.yaml. So when we're in test mode or when we're in local, we're just going to store all the data in like /storage from our Rails root. And then if we wanted to turn on AWS, GCP, Azure, or some mirror service, then we could just uncomment these. So when we're ready to deploy, we can do that. But for now, it should just store it locally. The next thing is we want to go into development.rb and make sure that we have that set up. So development.rb. And storage should be here, local. Okay, so that's set as local. The next thing, so in production, you can kind of like turn on whatever one that you want to use. And some of those are going to require like keys and authentication and whatever. And then a lot of the rest of this documentation is setting it up for deploy or for production, public access, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now when we're attaching files to records, we use these methods inside of the active record models. So it has one attached or has many attached. And this allows you to say, you just kind of give it the name of what the file is describing. And then you create a form field, and then everything else is sort of handled for you. And you can call methods like user.avatar.url or something like that. And it'll give you back the URL to the file. You can also, there's a few different options that you can pass to these attachment things where you can tell it which service. You can also give it a bunch of variations, which is a nice feature of, Rails 7. There was a bunch of stuff that was released as part of the variations that let you get like cropped. Yeah, so here you go. You got like different variants. So you can say like resize to limit 100 by 100 or resize to whatever. We'll come back and look at this variant stuff in a bit. And I'm not sure I'll be able to install this ImageMagick or Vips thing, but yes, we will come back to that. All right, what else we got here? I really like the example where you can select like several different files, click open, and then it shows you the progress when you start uploading. And so these are actually uploading client side using JavaScript to upload directly to the third-party service or to your local system or whatever. And then there's a bunch of JavaScript that you can hook into in terms of events. So these are going to be JavaScript events that are firing on client-side objects or client-side, DOM elements when the upload process is happening for direct uploads. And I do think this is kind of the slickest solution. There's a tool called Drop Zone that I really like to use generally with images that kind of gives you like a nice JavaScript format or JavaScript tool for allowing people to kind of like just drag images and drop them onto the page. But for now, let's just try to go through this process of adding this to our application. So inside of app, JavaScript, packs, inside of packs here, we want to, we've already got active storage here and it's already started. Okay, so we've already got that set up. And then direct upload true to your form field for attachments if you're using a form builder. If you're not using a form builder, you give it this data direct upload URL and you pass in the Rails direct uploads URL. Okay, so let's just mess around with that for a little bit and see what we can do. So inside of, right now, let's see, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. So inside of host listings here, we have our list of listings. If we drill into one of them, this is what we see right now. Just a JSON blob, edit details, edit rooms. I think what we want to do is also have photos, edit photos. And edit photos will be a place where we can upload new photos. And rather than just having our listing has many attachments for each individual photo, what I want to do is actually create a photo model that is related to a listing. And the reason is that I want to be able to add captions and I want to be able to run each photo through certain processes to like analyze it for, is this like, is this some sort of like explicit photo that shouldn't have been uploaded and things like that. So let's generate a model, RailsG model photo, and it is going to have a photo. And that's going to be the actual like image file thing, the active storage image file thing. We'll also have a caption. Sometimes on some rental platforms, you can also associate models with specific rooms. So you might say like, oh, this is a picture of the kitchen, or this is a picture of the backyard, or whatever. But for now, I think we can just start with those two fields on our photo. Oh, you know what we also need is reference back to the listing. So it's going to be like t.references listing. And I think that should be good. I guess we want it to be something like this. Actually, no. Yeah. Okay, so foreign key, we're gonna have a foreign key from photo back to the listing ID. And then this string photo, that's gonna be our attachment. And I can't remember if when we do the attachment, if we need a different kind of migration. Oh no, because, oh, you know what? We don't actually even need the photo column on this table. When we use has one attachment, the data ultimately lives in the active storage tables and follows like this pattern where like the data is stored in a centralized table in kind of like a polymorphic association. But yeah, so we actually don't even need that. So this should be fine. So we'll say Rails DB migrate. Oh. Okay. That's going to give us a new photo table. Photos already exists. What? Okay, did I may have blown it away in the middle of it, right? Let's see. DB migrate. None of these should have created photo tables. All right, whatever. Okay, so if we go to the photo model, then in here we can say has one attached photo. Okay. Now inside, we need to create a controller for this. So Rails G controller host photos, and let's just give it we'll create an index to start with. And I'm using the slash again so that we get a namespaced controller. So it's namespaced under the host namespace or the host module. So inside of our routes here, we should have resources, photos, only index, and create and destroy, I think. That makes sense. Host photos controller. All right, so now we've got this namespace under the host module. We have an index here. We've also got this create method. We will have like photo params, and that's going to be params.require photo.permit caption. And I don't remember if we actually need to permit. Yeah, okay, we need to permit photo also. This is a little confusing. Like this top level photo is the name of the model that we're using by convention. And then this is going to be like the actual data for the file. Maybe we should have called like one photo and one picture or whatever, but whatever, that's fine. And then here we're going to say something like at photo equals, well, at listing is current user.listings.find params. Oh, you know what I'm wondering? Do we want to nest this under? Yeah, I think we do. Okay. Listing ID. Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be like /host/listings/1/photos, and that'll give us the index, and that'll also be where we send a post request to create a new listing. And this will be like at listing.photos.new photo params if at photo.save. So if the photo is saved, then we want to redirect to host listing photos path for the listing. And then otherwise, we want to say like flash flash errors is at photo.errors.full messages. And then I think we can actually redirect in either case. So we'll just move that down here. So if it didn't save, then we'll populate some errors, we'll redirect back. If it did save, we're going to redirect back, but it should have saved. All right, so then in the index, we'll do these two things. So listing is going to be find the listing, and then photos is going to be listing.photos. Also, we need to go to the listing model and add a relationship, has many photos. And then we need to go to here and say this belongs to a listing. All right, so then if we come back to our thing here and go to photos, you have a pending migration. Rails DB migrate. Why are you crashing? Okay, Rails DB drop, DB create, DB migrate. All right, I'm just gonna like drop the entire thing and recreate it because I think something might have like failed in the middle of something. Oh no, active storage blobs does not exist. Migrations. DB migrate. Okay, add service name to active storage blobs. Okay. Something got messed up. Like inside of Git, I was setting up active storage, and then I think the database was just in a wacky state. So I'm going to drop the entire thing. I'm going to remigrate it. Huh? Rails DB drop. Are you going to drop? Drop the database. Rails DB create. Rails DB migrate. All right, cool. Now we want to say Rails active storage install, and this should like set up the migrations. And now I should be able to say Rails DB migrate again, and it should not get sad. Okay. Now when we restart our server and fire up this page here, we should no longer have pending. Oh, right. Okay. So now we also want to go into our photos controller and add before filter. I forget what it's called already. Authenticate user. Not before filter, before action. It used to be called before filter. All right. Now, when you're working locally and the database gets in a wacky state, you have a couple options. One, you can fiddle around with the database and try to fix it and make it happy again, or you can just drop the whole thing and start over. The problem with dropping the whole thing and starting over is that you don't have any users anymore. You don't have any test data anymore. And if you were manually creating all the test data, then it can be a pain to like recreate it all. And so what I want to do now is I'm going to go into, instead of manually creating the users and all the data, I'm going to go into db seeds.rb, and I want to set this up so that we can like create some users and create some listings. So here I'm going to say, let's actually go to our gem file. Oops. And inside of the gem file, I'm going to add to development and test gem faker. Bundle install. Faker is an amazing gem. It's super fun. I'm a really big fan of Faker. It's basically just like it's a tool for generating fake data. So if we say reload here, let's see. We'll restart Faker. Okay, so now we have the Faker gem installed. Faker is really cool. So what's also really neat is because we're using Rails, we can actually use CD and like change directory into classes. So we can CD into Faker and then ls, and this shows us like all of the class methods. I don't know why it's so nasty with all this like Shift A, Shift B thing. It should print it out much prettier than this, but you can kind of get an idea of all the different things that it can generate. So you can generate addresses or Chuck Norris things or emotions or Phil Murray, military stuff, measuring, marketing, markdown, lorem ipsum, etc., etc., etc. So, there's even a cannabis one. Neat. Super interesting. So what we want is pretty boring. I think it might be under internet, LMNOPQRS. We kind of just want like user data, LMNOPQRS. Wait, is it? Let's go to the Faker gem docs because this is not spitting this out as I would expect or prefer. And this is, okay, so fakerinternet.email. So you might want to say something like db seed. Inside here, we might say something like 10.times do. We're going to create a user. So we're going to say user dot find or create, I guess user dot where, no, yeah, user dot create. One of the goals of making these seed files is to make them idempotent, but in this case, I don't really care. So we can say email is Faker internet email, password is Faker internet password. Does that work? Faker Faker internet password. Cool. And Faker internet.methods. Let's see. Minus class dot methods. So we've got email, domain name, user, username, password. Okay. Yeah, so that should work fine, I guess. Maybe, is there a name? Name, faker, internet, faker, internet. Why do I keep saying internet? Internet username. Okay. I don't know why that took so long. Okay. Faker internet username. All right, whatever. This is going to be our hosts. So we're going to say like hosts is an empty array, and this is going to shovel into hosts. So we're going to just add a bunch of hosts. And I guess here we can use create bang so that it forces the creation. All right, so then the next thing we want to do is, I guess like inside of here, we can also do like 10 times do again. And here we can create the listings. So listing.create, and this is going to have the host be this user. Host is this, hosts, host, and host is going to be host. I don't know if we even need to keep track of that array or not. Let's see. So what else does a listing have? A listing has the host. It's going to have a title. And let's see, faker. Well, faker address, we're definitely going to want that, but faker construction? What does this do? Material, heavy equipment, trade, subcategory. Wow. Interesting. Trade. Electrician, plumber, laborer, HVAC. Wow, that's super cool. Okay. But that still doesn't give us everything we want. Okay, so what we're trying to do is build out a house. So what is this? Oh my gosh, no way. Faker.house? What? Room, furniture. Faker house.room. Drawing room, kitchen, bedroom, ensuite. Okay, that's got more stuff than our houses have. Furniture. Stool, drawers, stool, bedside table. Interesting. Okay. But that doesn't give us like the title of the house, which let's just use lorem for that. So faker lorem.methods minus class.new. Okay, so we can just get a sentence or lorem.words5. And we can just, yeah. So faker lorem words5.join. All right, about faker lorem what is this got? Paragraphs? Paragraph by characters, paragraphs. Let's see. Paragraph. Paragraphs. Okay. Can we tell it how many we want? No. Actually, I think this might not even work. Yeah. Dot join with a new line. All right. Max guests. This is going to be, let's just do like 1 to 15.2a.sample. Address line 1 and faker address city, country, postcode. So faker address dot does it have a whole, oh, street address, there we go. Street address. It's so fun. Like, it's crazy that it can give you like full on addresses like that. That's pretty sweet. City, faker address dot city. State, faker address dot state. Country, for now we'll just say US. And status is going to be draft or published dot sample. So we'll just have like some that are randomly published and some that aren't. Okay, yes, that was a lot of work, right? But the nice thing is that now we can just full sail blow away our entire database and then be up and running pretty quickly. Let's also create a user with the email that we want to test with. So wave at cjab.dev. Password is password for now. Okay, so then we can say Rails DB seed :seed, and that should run our seed.db or seed.rb file. And okay, look, we're getting a bunch of different emails for us to verify our email address. And you can see the host is being created, and it's Alyssa, Coleman, Antone, Gudrun, Orlando, Joanna, Carl, Marissa, Claude, Renee, Lisa, wave at. Okay, so this one we do want to confirm. Your email address has been successfully confirmed. Wave at cjavdev, password, and we hit sign in. And host photos. Okay, so maybe this isn't our listing. Oh, right. I guess, yeah. So the other thing we need is to create some listings for ourselves. Seed.rb, or like me. And then here we can create 10 of our own listings also. Okay, now if I try to rerun this, watch what happens. So Rails DB seed, I want to like rerun it, but because the code we've written is not idempotent, meaning if we try to rerun it, it's failing here because the email has already been taken because we already technically created that user. So we can improve seeds.rb by saying something like find or create by email user, and then user.password equals password. I think this is how it works. So let's look it up. Rails find or create by. So this takes, I believe this should take a block where you pass it something that might uniquely identify it. And then if that does work, then create with, find or create by. Finds the first record with the given attributes or creates a record with those attributes if it's not found. So if you want to find or create by first name, okay, so yeah, so this is what it's doing, right? Like find or create by, whatever we pass in here is what's going to be used in the where clause, where it's like try to find a user that already has the first name Scarlett. If you find one, then just return that one. If you don't find one, then create one and then run the block. I'm pretty sure this is how it works. So it always returns a record. If creation attempt and failed, blah, 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 it's not atomic, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so yeah, so let's update to that. So I think that should work. And the host in this case is me. And then we could do the same thing technically down here, but I don't think we're going to have email collisions because we're using Faker. We'll just get like duplicate listings or like more listings every time we run it. And more of these emails, which I think we can turn off like somehow at the top of, or like when you first start doing that. But okay, so if we refresh, now we can see all these listings. Some of them are published, some of them are in draft. They have fun names and they also have addresses, which are beautiful. And now if we try to look at /photos, we get this page, which is great because that's where we want to be. Photos, index.html. This is going to be class text to Excel. margin bottom 4 and font bold. And we're just going to say photos. And then here we want to have a form that will be like that'll allow us to upload photos. But what is this actually going to look like? So the action is going to be like what is this? Host listing photos path for @listing. And the method is going to be post. But what's interesting here is that we want to also have the label for the caption. And that's going to have okay, so it's going to be photo caption is the name of it. And the value is nothing for right now. And then separately, we need to have what do we need here? We need to have an input that is hidden with the value of authenticity token or something like that. Or maybe it's Rails authenticity token for our CSRF token. I forget what this is called. Form authenticity token. Okay, so here's our form. Right now we've got an upload button, we've got a caption. We also need to add in the file upload. So let's go back to our docs for active support. And we want to find that form field, input, type file, direct file upload, blah, blah, blah. So we'll drop that in there and then refresh our page here. I guess this goes over here. Refresh. Okay, so now we can say choose file. We've got to pick a file. So I pick one, click open, and all right, so I don't know if there's any JavaScript that's actually running when we pick that, but if we hit upload, then what happened? Direct uploads. So what we can do is we can go to our local storage file here, and we can just take a look and see if anything got uploaded. And it looks like some stuff might have been uploaded here. So if we're in storage today at 3:25, so maybe this is the file. Oh, look at that. Boom. That is a picture. That is a house picture right there. Amazing. Okay. So at least that seems to be working. So we're able to upload files. So here, if we choose another file and we say, give me number 2, and then, I don't know, this is a caption for number 2, and we say upload, and did this one? Yep. So this one added another file here, and that is number 2, the bathroom. Okay. So now that we have these uploading, let's make sure that photo.count. We've got 2 photos, photo.last. All right, so that's our caption for number 2. Photo.last.photo has the photo record. And so how do we get out the URL for that? So if we go back to the docs for active storage, then we should be able to call like .url or something on this, I believe. So, let's see, what's it called? Path. Linking to files. So, okay, so here we go. URL for or Rails blob path. So if we want to create a download link, we use the Rails blob. And then if we want a permanent URL that points to the data, we can use URL for. I think there's a couple others too for variants, different variants here. So we have this image tag. variant, whatever, but I don't have ImageMagick stuff set up. So let's just see if we can get this working. So if we come back over to listing show and say like, if listing.photos.count or exists, then we want to put an image tag for at listing.photos.first.photo.variant. Let's see if we can get this to work. Resize to limit 100, 100. And we'll go back to the listing show page here. And what do we got? Nothing is showing for that. Oh, this is on the proper listings show page. Exist, it should be exists. Refresh. Location can't be provided. So at listing.photos.first.photo .url, I don't know, blob. How do I get stuff out of this? Methods minus class.new .methods purge later, detach, attach, attachment. So .attachment .attached .record. Okay, so that brings me back to the photo. I thought this would have something inside of attachment. It does not. Okay, I wonder if in the form we didn't set the name correctly for the direct download thing. So listing edit or no, photo index. So here we have this file. We're saying direct upload, but once we've direct uploaded it, we've got the file is being uploaded, but when the direct upload is finished, then this file or this field should have like a name, and that name should get back some data that's then used to upload. And so what I think we're missing here is name is equal to photo, I think, something like this. So let's go back to host listings and jump into a specific one and then go to /photos. And we're going to upload a photo here. Testing. We say upload. And when we say upload, we get the direct upload. So that's posted. And then we get back. Ooh, this is a new tab, the payload tab. That's cool. Instead of having it at the bottom here, that makes a lot more sense. Great. So that's the file blob. And then we get the response. Why don't we see the response? That's odd. Okay, but then we come back to the photos tab. All right, let's look in the Rails logs and see what's going on. So we are getting, okay, so what's going on here? Photo create, that came in and it has the photo, and this is just like a long ID, which I'm guessing references the ID of the direct upload, and there was like something in the response of that direct upload. And I have a feeling this just worked, but let's go check. So listings 101. Can't find listings, blah, blah, blah. Oh, because it's not published. So listing.find 101.update status published. I also thought of like a reason why we don't want to be able to manage that status as part of the edit for that view. And it's basically I think we want to take other actions when that state changes for the listing. When the listing is becoming published, we want to maybe run some checks on the listing. We want to make sure that the person posting the listing is legit. They've already got like their merchant account set up so that they can receive payments, that they are not sort of like, laundering money or anything, and that they're like good actors on the system. All right, so at least the page is loading now, and there seems to be some sort of representation situation going on in here. So if we go back to listing show, and so we were using this variant thing, but I don't think the variant works. Yeah, in fact, like our Rails server crashed, and it says down here, generating image variants requires the image processing gem. Please add gem image processing 1.2 to your gem file. And this is kind of where I crashed and burned last time. So the image processing gem, if I recall correctly, has like a ton of dependencies. Let's see if I'm remembering that correctly. I think like one of them was not, something broke last time when I tried to do that. Oh, wow, look at that. It totally worked. Holy smokes. Okay, this is amazing. So that absolutely worked. And now we have one that is of a variant 100 by 100. Holy smokes. Okay, this is super cool. Did we get, it's like not clear, but that's okay. Okay, so then I guess the other thing we might want to do is just say like, since there are some photos, why don't we iterate over all of them at listing.photos.each do photo. And we will create image tags for all the photos, and they're all going to be resized to that variant. And they should show. Actually, we need to add some more listings. So host listings 101/photos. So this is kind of a pain to like pick another one and upload and say bathroom, and then pick another one and upload and say blah, 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 blah. But so we can come back and we can improve this and make it even better over time. But what I'm hoping is that this will now show several photos. Very cool. Okay, awesome. So that is neat. I like that a lot. And we've got some photos. We can just use the first one as sort of the listing photo. And so from like host listings here, like this image, I want to make that image the first photo. So if we're in host listings index here, we are printing out this image, which right now, I don't want to do that one anymore. I want to do instead this one, which will be the first photo for the listing. So l.photos.first.photo. And we're going to give it that variant. And I guess we want to just give it those classes. So I think we can just say class maybe. I can't remember image tag for Rails. I think Rails image tag. I think we can just pass the class and some HTML helpers, but I can't remember the exact format here. So image tag. And what does it look like? Size, class. Yeah, okay, so we can just do like class is h12, width 12, and rounded full. And let's see how that looks. Oh, right, it might not have a photo. So if l.photos.exists, then we do this, else we're going to do something else. And that'll be some default image. For now, we'll just put back that person's face. Can't build a URI. l.photos.first.photo.variant, blah, blah, blah. l.photos first.photo dot variant resize to limit. Oh, you know what? I think it's crashing and burning because we created a couple of we created a couple of photo objects. Photo.first.destroy. We created a couple that didn't actually work. So let's try this again. All right, look at that. Now we've got one that has some sort of actual picture. So if we come to this draft and we say, I think on that listing show for hosts, I also want to have edit photos. So now we can come in here, we can say pick a photo. Let's make it this one, upload. And now when we go back to our listings, we should have another one with a picture there, and we do. Cool. Okay, fantastic. All right, so now we are able to upload images of our listings. That's super cool, and it allows us to, get some better experience if you can actually like see pictures of the listing, right? So yeah, let's leave it at that. And then, we'll play around in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.